After the success of the first 3 FNaF waves, Youtooz was ready to move on to something new. Sure, the main cast of the 2 most important games in the franchise, and a few for the fanverse was great, but this series has hundreds of characters, some who have never gotten merch before, and they were teasing something big. William Afton 3 times. Hello everyone, and welcome to the grand finale of Prize Corner Season 2. Yeah, I know it doesn't exactly feel like it. I mean, it's not the huge mega marathon holiday themed review I did last year, but hey, this is still a main Youtooz wave, and only the 4th one we've gotten to. That's pretty exciting. I mean, it's bound to be good, right? But before we get to that, there is one other figure I need to talk about. Around the time the Security Breach wave released, Youtooz started talking about making a Golden Freddy figure, which was specifically exciting to me. Yes, I know he's a popular character, but this was personal. I mean, merch of his is never done right. It's usually just a recolor of Freddy standing up, and sometimes he's not even the right color. Ha! Anyway, eventually they did show something off of the figure, and it was...
Oh hey, look, everything you didn't want. Say hello to Funko 2.0, everyone.
This made a lot of people mad. And why exactly? It's just a fun recolor. It's not like they actually named the product Golden Freddy. Oh wait, oh no, it actually seems like they did do that. Oh, my mistake. What? This was a pretty bad mistake, as at the same time they were making a real Golden Freddy Youtooz. They just didn't think much about the implications of revealing this one first. Shortly after this TikTok showing him off was made, they clarified that this was not the Golden Freddy Youtooz. It's actually still in the item's description to this day, and they would also rename him to Gold Chrome Freddy, a much more fitting yet clunkier name. I'll just call him Games Freddy. Okay, yes, he is technically number 13 where Golden Freddy is 12, but that's only because this was released after the Funko Youtooz was cancelled, and Golden Freddy had to fill that spot. So yeah, I'm still gonna talk about this one first. Only available for 24 hours, Gold Chrome Freddy is Yootooz's very first variant. Anyhow, the box should be first, so let's start there. This is probably the strangest Youtooz box I've seen. It's quite literally just Freddy's box, but recolored like a bee. And I'm having a hard time saying it's bad. I mean, it looks pretty cool, but at least one new quote would have been nice. The only fully unique aspect of this box is this sticker denoting it's a chrome figure. Oh gee, I couldn't tell. But I would have loved if the sticker was shiny and the same color of the rest of the box to match what it was conveying, just like the sticker on the flocked boxes. The chrome gold Freddy box can get a 6 out of 10. Fun, but not notable. Well, this sure is Gold Chrome Freddy. I'm not really sure what else to say. This is a cool figure. The gold chrome looks amazingly shiny. I really do love the look of this guy. Most variants I feel should stay in the box as they don't really do anything to stand out against the original. Flocked is cool, yeah, but I'm not gonna display it alongside the normal ones. And when I spent $30 just to put him on a shelf, well, it's kinda lame. This feels like a complete change. It is just Freddy with a gold coating, but I don't feel redundant putting it right next to Mr. Fazbear, and that definitely makes it worth it for me. I would love to see more of this style of variant. Like, imagine a real gold chrome Golden Freddy, or even Springtrap. For a series where gold is the second most important element on the periodic table, it makes perfect sense to spam these out. But maybe doing that would make this one feel less special, I'm not sure. One issue I do have is that the gold paint didn't actually cover all of him. And I'm not talking about the freckles, which did stay black, but I actually like that. It helps him look a little less boring. No, I mean that they just didn't bother to do the inside of his mouth, which is really distracting being on the very front of his body. Although you do have to remember that this and this is how you'll most often be seeing him, but it still is a huge problem. This is a really good variant, one of the best I've ever seen. It feels like a trophy I won for being a FNaF fan. I mean, seriously, this feels so special, and with it only being available for 24 hours, yeah, it lives up to that. The problem is score. I mean, I have very few problems with it, but overall, I do like the original Freddy more. How about this? I gave Freddy's Youtooz an 8, so let's just give Golden Chrome and Fredden an 8 out of 10 as well. I think that's fair. Youtooz, if this is how creative your recolors get, I would not mind seeing more. Just maybe not a full set of 5 variants based on variants exclusive to a different country.
Excuse me? A recolor does not deserve an 8.
Okay, then what would you give it?
0.
What?
All recolors are bad. You should know this.
I mean, original is always better than cool stuff repackaged.
Exactly.
But, if that repackage is creative and actively changes the quality of the original figure, then why not? I say go for it.
But what?
I get that Funko's 20 billion re-releases that are just old shit again can get really annoying. I mean, they've made 2 glow-in-the-dark Nightmare Freddy Pops. But Youtooz in 4 years have only made like 8 recolors. And 5 of those are from the same set. So like, calm down. They're about to give us the Phantom animatronics.
Fine, but I'll be back, and you will agree with me.
Okay, buddy, whatever you say. And now that we're caught up, let's go back/forward in time to Youtooz number 12. Now I'm screwed, it's Golden Freddy. His box shows the office as bright red. I'm not exactly sure why, but it's cool. And the back is a recreation of his jump scare. I think this is pretty cool and probably the best choice that they could have made for the artwork. The side reads, "It's me." Obviously. And the top is... uh-oh.
He's here and always watching.
Look, I'm not getting into theory crafting, but it is crazy to me that Scott let them put this quote on the Golden Freddy box. But remember, merch should never be used to prove anything. This quote is either extremely ahead of the game or completely wrong. And without revealing which side I'm on, I think this is a cool and very fitting quote. So the box gets an 8 out of 10.
Coward.
Oh yeah? Tell me your thoughts on Golden Freddy.
Well, he's clearly Cassidy. Or Andrew. Or the books aren't canon and Andrew's made up. Or he's Cassidy and Crying Child, that's Evan/David. But not the book David, mashed into the same suit. Or he's a girl, or she's a boy. Or UCN is Purgatory, or UCN is Hell, or UCN is a dream. Or Andrew is the one you shouldn't have killed, and Cassidy is Golden Freddy. Or neither of them even existed, it's just regular Freddy tits and yellow. Or the Jews
Holy
faked
shit,
the moon
okay,
landing.
sorry I asked.
I am so sorry. Look, sometimes my system gets a little overloaded with conflicting information, and then that happens. Look, whatever you do not ask me about FNaF 4. We'll be here all day in a never-ending logic loop.
Yeah, noted. On a basic conceptual level, Youtooz Golden Freddy is a recolor of Youtooz Classic Freddy. But how about I let you in on a little secret? So is Golden Freddy. So it makes sense. He's in his usual sitting pose, which means no man standing! Finally! With his hands to the side mic barely in his right, and head tilted, and it genuinely looks amazing. Surprisingly, the large head and smaller body looks great on this character, which I never would have expected. But it just looks so cartoony and silly alongside his more gloomy and serious design. This is how these stylized figures should be. Take a note, Funko. Oh, wait, they actually did? Huh. Either way, I feel with most FNaF characters, it's hard to fully capture that look. Usually either going unnoticed or being a detriment. But as I said, I think this is the perfect look for it. His eyes are pitch black, meaning he gives off that perfect empty costume look. But if you look real close, you can see he actually still has the Youtooz eyes, just made the same color as the sockets. Cool. One thing I don't like about the eyes is that he doesn't have those eye shadows I love so very, very much. But I don't know, that doesn't bother me that much because everything else here is pretty much exactly as I'd want it. The bright yellow is a little too bright for my tastes. And when I first received this figure, I was pretty disappointed by the pale look of this. I wanted more of a matte yellow, you know? But the more I stared at it, the more I just can't care. This is one of the best Youtooz. Okay, what is your problem?
Whatever do you mean?
You've been scoffing at me this entire review. You clearly have something to say. So what is it?
Oh, nothing. Yeah, just the fact that you are a complete idiot and this is clearly a bad figure.
What? But he's super accurate and adorable.
Look at his leg.
What about it?
The tiny, insignificant, hard to notice scratch. Are you blind? It literally ruins the entire figure.
Are you serious? Do people actually think that?
I guess he's mostly good. But that spot of withering, I'll never get past that.
I don't even know what to say to that.
That you agree! See? You're at a loss for words!
No! I'm shocked that anyone actually cares about the damn Toyota logo appearing on Golden Freddy's inner thigh. It's so tiny. How does this get more attention than the rest of his amazing self?
Because Youtooz are hacks and I hate them!
10 out of 10.
Oh, what? Seriously?
Yep, because it is well made. Why would I hate a figure that has one problem that doesn't change anything about the quality of the rest of the figure? Golden Freddy's Youtooz wasn't exactly my favorite when I first saw it, but after enough time, it not only really grew on me, but became a clear contender for best Youtooz of all time.
I can't believe I'm friends with someone so stupid.
If you were a good friend, you'd accept my opinion.
I am being a good friend. Good friends don't let their best buddies share incorrect statements.
You have to be joking. Doesn't it get tiring being negative all the time?
Doesn't it get tiring being wrong all the time?
You know what? I'm done. I'm gonna review the rest of this wave in a fun and positive setting. There has been way too much negativity around here lately, and I'm gonna change that for season 3. So you can either get on the same page as me or get out. Next up is the first of 2 purple guy figures Youtooz randomly.
Excuse me? I was laughing in a totally normal way just now. How dare you interrupt me?
But you always do it for so long. And I have a video to hopefully not make an hour long.
Listen to me. By this video's end, you'll see it my way. Being mean and rude and overreacting is fun as hell. In fact, it's a way of life. And I am more confident than anything that this wave will break you.
Sure. Anyway, for some reason, Youtooz went all in on William Afton for this wave, making 3 out of the 4 figures different versions of him. Well, kind of. As number 15 is actually an entirely original purple guy design. Huh. Now, I'm aware I'm going out of order once again, and usually I wouldn't do that, but covering 14 now and 16 later just doesn't feel right. So for just this once, I'm going to be going in my own direction. But I promise this won't be an every video thing. This Youtooz is the definition of weird as shit. I mean, ignoring all the obvious stuff, the description for the figure, which are usually long and detailed sales pitches, is literally just William Afton, period. Alright then. I mean, this is kind of badass, but why? Let's take a look at the box while I digest that. We'll talk a lot more about why I believe this is the weirdest Youtooz ever made, but this box is actually kind of awesome. The inside office is the same, and his side is a bloody purple tile floor, but the back has this amazing artwork of the purple guy maniacally laughing. The animatronics look a little goofy, but purple guy himself looks damn majestic with his glowing and that lighting. Wow! He's missing a side quote, but the back is his famous line,
I always come.
and the top flap says, none of you will survive the night. Not a specific reference, but still a pretty cool line. This box is one of my favorites in the FNaF line. Yeah, it's for a figure I have mixed feelings on, but the artist went all out here, and the quotes are way better than what we'll see on the other 2 boxes. So purple guy's box will be getting an 8 out of 10. Actually taking this guy out of the box, so, have you guys ever heard of a fan character named Vincent?
Oh god, don't remind me.
Vincent was the fandom interpretation of the killer before the Silver Eyes released and actually gave us his real identity. And at the time, all we knew about him was that he was a purple guy, he had an orange badge on his chest, and his hand was oddly phone-shaped. So Tumblr did what it did best and turned him into a skinny, sexy boy with a ponytail, and a very random obsession with toast because of the badge. Oh, and also he's innocent. Now, obviously, there are quite a few differences between Vincent and Youtooz purple guy, but they are still both nonsense. This figure isn't based on anything in the games. I mean, I assume he's a vague humanization of the sprite, but then where did his office tie come from? And his TikTok-ass haircut with the shave part underneath. He actually kind of looks like Nate Wants to Battle in his Mangled music video. I won't say he's all bad, he really isn't. I mean, for one, the color is amazing. It looks so cool, and with his dark eyes and expressive smile, he honestly looks a little spooky. And I don't know why, but the detail and wrinkles on his clothes just make me happy. Like, damn. But part of me also thinks there's too much detail. Like, this design is overall simplistic. So why exactly does he need shoulder pads and a tool belt? Where did these even come from? And to add insult to more insult, the one thing I'd actually want to have detail, the badge, is still an overly simple shape. Well, no more toast, I guess. His pose is also very strange to me. I mean, his hand reaching out to take your hand looks awesome, and it serving as a reference to the original Sprite is so much fun. But his other hand just being behind his back, holding nothing, is super fucking lame. It is clear to me and everyone else that he is meant to be holding a knife, but this was around the time Scott decided to make the merch cut free, which isn't Youtooz's fault, but them not replacing it with anything is their fault. Like, not even a pizza cutter? Maybe a phone or a spring lock crank? You guys got nothing? Oh, and on top of all that pose nonsense, he's also man-standing. So now I don't know what to think. I've saved the most important part of his design for last. That being his mask. I mean, it looks cool, but what is it? Is it even a mask? If so, why is it just floating there? Why is it only half of a mask? Is it like a hallucination? A glitch? I honestly have no clue, and I doubt even a proper description on the website could help. Either way, this is an exact half of Purple Guy's Sprite face. Well, except for his eye, which is just a simple dot.
Wait! So not only can Youtooz not do the eyes, but they can also do pinpricks? What is with this company?
Him half not having the logo eyes is very weird. But what's even more weird is that he doesn't even have the eyes from the game. What the hell were they going for here? His eyes are such a big part of his design that he just kind of looks like he's wearing a vague moon mask. The Purple Guy Youtooz is fucking so weird. The more I think about him, the more I hate him. And then I think about him even more and I kind of like him. Okay, I hate him again. 3 out of 10. The biggest disappointment of this Youtooz is that there is some good to be found. And if they put this effort into a Vanessa or maybe even a Michael Afton, it would be so much cooler. But now we just have yet another Afton Youtooz, and the worst looking one at that. Remember when Youtooz wasn't gonna make the Mimic? Anyway, 2 Steve Raglins, guys! Overall, I'm glad he exists just for the simple fact that he is weird. And I much prefer weird to classic Freddy plush 5.
Doesn't it feel good?
Just because we agree on one thing doesn't mean you're right. I'm not broken, I just dislike one figure.
You are so stubborn. Come on, this figure is god-awful. I mean, not as bad as shit chrome shit Freddy shit, but he sucks.
I agree, but just because something is bad doesn't mean it's irredeemable. I think there are figures way worse than this. Ones that take characters I love and ruin them.
What, like ruin Chica?
No.
Well, fine. Let's see you keep that composure while we ask the
I didn't think of
iconic
this.
age-old question.
Please don't, I'll look like such a hypocrite.
But what does Artlad think?
I like the Purple Guy figure. I think it's super unique. Truly a one-of-a-kind design. His split face, one showcasing the Sprite half and one more realistic, is super cool. His facial expression is great too. His big grin that to most kids would look trusting, but it's skin crawling to us who know what he did. I love his bright white smile and yellow badge stand out so well against the purple, though I do wish the purple was a bit darker because I think that would look a lot nicer. I think this figure would have been amazing if they had stuff on him be different shades of purple, like his hair or his shirt. That way the figure wouldn't blend together so much. I think the figure is really good, if not a tiny bit boring to look at, so I'll be giving him a 7 out of 10. What?
Holy shit, I knew it was gonna be bad, but seriously?
Artlad, how could you betray me like this?
I don't even know what I did. I just think he's cool looking.
Yeah, but he doesn't. He is so stupid, it makes no sense at all.
Yeah, and you're stupid for thinking it.
Yeah, wait, no, he's not.
Ugh, calm down. It's just my opinion.
No, but that's the thing. It's an objective fact that this Youtooz sucks.
Okay, whatever. I'm out of here. You know, you're really starting to sound like CC.
Wait, no, Artlad, come back. I didn't mean that.
Isn't it amazing? Setting that silly fool straight.
No, I feel like a jerk. How do you do this every day?
It's pretty easy when you just speak your mind. Trust me, you'll get used to it.
No way. I'm going back to thinking positively.
Yeah, good luck with that. Ready to have some deja vu?
Now that we're done covering an adaptation of Purple Guy's FNAF 2 sprite, we can now talk about an adaptation of Purple Guy's FNAF 2 sprite. Can you believe we got 2 Purple Guys before we got 2 Foxies? Well, hello there, old sport. Can you believe that if I did these in order, this would be our last review of the season? Can you get why I didn't want that? Fox is really weird, telling a story with pictures instead of words. The top flap has Purple Guy from FNAF 2, now with Youtooz eyes that look a lot better than the actual figure. And on the back, we see Purple Guy getting attacked by the children he killed, and then on the side, he's in the suit. These are just 3 screenshots. 4 out of 10. I think it's a fun idea, and the little guy hiding under the flap is cute, but this is pretty lazy. Speaking of, this is a 3D-ized version of that classic minigame appearance. You can see that he now has actual depth and is still stylized, but this is less like those 8-bit amiibos of Mario and Link, and more like Funko's 8-bit line. It isn't a direct copy, and is more of a stylized version of that sprite. So retro, am I right? It looks kinda awkward, but as Scott models his sprites as 3D in his software, this is probably more accurate anyway. The way the bits are layered over each other is cool at some points, like on his limp arm, but also can look kinda bad like his other phone arm. Speaking of his phone arm, this is particularly bad. Like, this already isn't the best conversion ever, but what the hell is that? The letter E? That being said, yes, them actually giving him a second arm is kinda cool, and I love how it's just 2 rectangles. The badge looks great, and the head shape is fine. I like the mouth and how the bottom part is actually indented, like a mouth would be. And while I'm usually one to appreciate the eyes,
They look super awkward here, like more than usual.
Cece, I don't need your help.
I think you do. I mean, it could be worse. They could have not been pixelized, but I think even my friend here can agree that 5 squares don't look good as eyes.
Yeah, I can get behind that. But like, I wouldn't put it past them. The pin has regular eyes and it looks so gross.
Oh my god, yes. And have you mentioned the materials yet?
Oh, no, I haven't. Yeah, this thing is in fact not made of vinyl plastic, as that is usually softer. This is hard, cheap feeling, and kind of brittle. Like, I bet if I squeezed this hard enough, it would shatter in my hands.
From a glance, it looks, well, still bad. But when you actually touch it, oh god. It feels like a dollar store toy they threw out because kids thought it was a ripoff.
Exactly. Oh, and the giant foot.
Don't even get me started on the giant foot.
The original sprite has a small rectangle to act as his feet. I said small. This is way too big and so damn distracting. All I can look at is his ugly cinder block dogs.
Oh, and before you forget, man standing, right?
Yes, totally. I mean, obviously he had to be, but it's just yet another thing that's lame about him.
That isn't even the worst part, Weegee. Tell the folks at home about the toes.
Gladly. He has modeled toes! According to Youtooz, Afton was killing kids fucking barefoot. Yeah, because that makes total sense. I genuinely cannot tell what these are supposed to be if not his violet grippers.
Yet another nasty decision on a nasty-ass figure. 1 out of 10.
Whoa, okay, no, he isn't that bad.
Oh, come on!
He sucks. And the fact he was made in the first place makes me feel sadness. But the idea isn't a bad one. And like I said about the last one, I don't think this is irredeemable either. Not at all. It wasn't executed very well. But I'm not, like, mad about it. If anything, he's more forgettable than abysmal. Which is why I'll be giving Purple Guy Sprite a matching 3 out of 10. When I first got this dynamic duo who is technically Uno, I thought that this thing was the worst thing ever invented. And this was not as bad in comparison. But with them side by side and after really considering it, I think they're both equally bad. It's just that this one is better but stupider, and this one is worse, but it makes a lot more sense.
Okay, fine. That actually kind of made sense, actually.
Thank you. And you know what? I think you may have had a point as well.
Really?
Look, I want to love everything that this company puts out. I mean, some of these figures are the best FNAF merch I've ever seen. But for their 4th series, they decided to make 3 of the 4 figures the same exact character and then made all of them bad. And with that, it's just kind of hard to fully get behind, especially with Golden Freddy mocking me for my purchasing habits. Stupid 10 out of 10.
Well, I'm glad you see it closer to my way. Of course, I believe everything Youtooz makes is awful, and the stuff that isn't half bad always seems to be limited to a 7-day release, but This is okay too.
That's good, but I'm still not gonna be negative. I'm gonna try my best to put a positive spin on this last figure, no matter what.
Still? Man, you are lame. Just let it out. I bet it'll make the video better too.
Look, it's not gonna happen. Let's go back to number 14 and talk upbeat and happy about Springtrap. Oh, shit, this might be harder than I thought. So, Springtrap. Inside his box, oh god. I mean, it looks so good.
Dude, it's a Youtooz box. Who cares?
Okay, so this might be one of the worst boxes they've ever made. Not only is Springtrap not even here, it looks nothing like the scene it's trying to mimic. It's supposed to be the office with the monitor open on cam 8, but the walls are the wrong color. It's way too bright. The window is tiny and there's no desk. They got the trash can, wow, but nothing actually memorable, like the box of parts or the bobbleheads. Just a blank green wall that resembles the McFarlane set closer. And the actual back of the box? How is this cam 8? The most memorable cam in that game. No puppet mask, no present pile, no Chica head, not even the BB's Air Adventure poster. Just a wall covered in white printer paper with what seems to be oil covering it. Oh, and the quotes? Yeah, these suck too. I mean, I always come back as easy, but Purple Guy already had that on his box, so it just feels kind of redundant. Was that a child I just heard is not only completely made up, but is also incredibly inaccurate because Afton isn't drawn to the sound of kids. The suit is. The phone calls literally say this on like night 2. And the top flap is just yet another piece of random bullshit. Join me, little one, in the back room. I have a surprise for you. This makes no sense for Springtrap to be saying. What kids is he trying to lure looking like a rotting rabbit corpse? I get not wanting to use FFPS Afton, but did you just forget he was in special delivery? What is wrong with you? But if you felt that you really needed this line to be here, then why not just use what he said to Susie in Fruity Maze instead of just making something up? The only positive thing about this box is the side shows Springtrap in the vent, which is neat, but not even close to his most recognizable location. Like seriously, all of this feels so lazy. 1 out of 10. This is as bad as you can get, Youtooz. Do better. Oh, wait, you already have, since most of the boxes before this have been just fine. Ugh.
See? It's fun to be a little bitch sometimes. Just own it. Be more like your buddy Comic Consensus and speak like me. You want to parrot my superior opinions. Ooh.
You know what? This wave doesn't deserve my attempts to be happy for once. You're right. For this last review, I'm going full Comic Consensus mode.
That's the spirit. Now go. Let it all out. Be as biased as possible.
Gladly. The Springtrap Youtooz is a piece of shit.
Huh? Wait, what?
Let's start at the beginning. When this was first announced as the 15th Youtooz figure to ever be made, yeah, I thought it looked good. Weird? Yes, but still good. And do you want to know why I thought that? Because this was the standard at the time. Funko Pops were the only reference point we had, and they had been so shit lately. So honestly, anything new looked amazing to me. But as the time passed, and Youtooz have put out tons of outstanding, stellar vinyl figures, one thing has become very clear to me. That being, obviously, this is one of the worst Youtooz figures ever made. For FNaF. And with a Springtrap 2.0 releasing last month, updating pretty much everything shitty about the original, it is absolutely impossible to ignore now. So let's not hesitate any longer, because this piece of crap doesn't deserve mercy. His colors are not accurate, but I won't say I don't like them. The dark forest green is nice to look at, but the fact is it just isn't his usual puke green. But hey, at least it's better than the pure black that shows up under all of his withering. I expect no guts from Funko, which is why I'm surprised they did it and not Youtooz. Oh, but if you thought that was the worst of his withering, then you are blind as a Fazbat. Nothing here is as it should be. Okay, that's not true. The 2 slashes on its muzzle and the scar over his eye looks pretty good, but aside from that, nothing here is like the game. Holes are scattered randomly with 7 giant thick sausages sticking out of them. The hole in his chest have 2, but not even a vague attempt at his organs. Once again, even Funko did this 9 years ago. His hands are segmented and have all 5 fingers, but they are one solid color, don't have any missing tips, and just look kind of gross in general, especially with him just shoving them in your face. And usually his pelvis is being loosely held together by guts and thin red wires. But here it's just wide open, showing his once again very inaccurate black endoskeleton. Bro's looking like a withered foxy with his circular endo and slaying midriff. And we aren't even done. Let's keep going, how about? His feet. Oh! Springtrap's weird blood vessel lined dogs are always kinda gross and definitely weird looking. But here, how do you make them even grosser? Only 3 toes, and the red part is just 3 painted on stripes. And his spring-lock cuffs and gooey ankles are non-existent. Oh, and to make his pose work, which is still just man standing, by the way, they needed to bend his foot like it's made out of rubber. Hey, this is editing, Weegee. Now, I never really do this, but I'm interrupting the video to tell you about something new I discovered that I'm a little embarrassed I haven't noticed. This Youtooz's pose is actually based on a render from FNaF AR, which is incredibly cool as these vinyl figures don't usually reference actual in-game content, and it's always way better when they do. So good job, Youtooz. You did one thing right on this figure. Okay, now I'm gonna resume the regular commentary, and it's gonna be really weird because it's gonna be like I never even said this. The pose itself isn't awful. It's just a step and a reach forward. But not only is this pose really overdone these days, thanks Mimic, but to get this to work, they need to make the figure look even more hideous. So it's not even worth it. That being said, Youtooz has made it so you can actually remove his stand now, which is really nice since the old ones were just glued on. I'm glad they made this change, and they'll definitely not work it back in the future figures. But guess fucking what? That isn't even the worst of his withering. Look at his back. Why is he so smooth? Not a texture, not a hole, not even a tiny little moth bite in the suit. Just nothing. This is beyond lazy. I know it's rare you'll ever be displaying the back of these figures, but not doing any detail back here at all is just negligent. I mean, I'm talking about a few well-placed bullet holes. I'm not even mentioning the lack of spring-lock jaws. Ahem. Funko did this. And you know what? Now that we're on his head, let's talk about the one actually good thing this figure does, which is making his eyes silver like the games. Thank God. Even though it's more of a white. And the new eyes on the Phantoms look a trillion times cooler. And somehow the ones on the Pop look cooler, including the metal rings around there. Okay, maybe this still sucks. But hey, at least they're not yellow. He doesn't have his weird blocky nose, just a regular boring black one. His ears are stupid simple and stupid small. These look worse than the Mystery Mini. And the other one looks more like a lighter than an ear segment. And they forgot his one button! Youtooz! How could you? And for my final point and the worst part of this already terrible figure, and conveniently something that's already come up a few times, he is completely 100% Aftonless. And look, I get it when Funko doesn't want to show all the bloody details. And I get how putting black under the withering might look better on a stylized figure. And if it isn't distracting and you get creative with it, I'm not going to make a huge fuss when you decide to work around him. But if you do, maybe, well, I don't know, but maybe make sure to not leave his fucking mouth open. Maybe don't make your laziness incredibly obvious by wrenching his jaw open wide so everyone can see that you didn't even bother completing the figure. It isn't even like it's black in there like the Pops. It's just straight up empty. And with no traces of Afton anywhere on this Youtooz, is this even Springtrap? Maybe this is what happened to Spring Bonnie after the silver eyes. This was such an obvious and ridiculously stupid decision that almost 3 years later, Youtooz had to make an entirely new figure based around the one thing that makes Springtrap unique that they just forgot to include the first time around. Youtooz Springtrap may not seem like the worst of the worst, but in my opinion, after studying him for hours, he is without a doubt one of my least favorite pieces of FNaF merch ever made. 1 out of 10. Now, if Funko made this, it would be like a 5. But Youtooz is better than this. Youtooz is better than forgetting every single thing that makes an animatronic special, but releasing it anyway. Which is why this hurts so much more. Whew. Wow, that actually felt great. It was kind of nice to get all that out. But next time, I'm definitely taking my chill pill before I film. Are you okay? Your monitor is kind of vibrating.
No! This isn't fair!
What'd I do?
You were supposed to be nice to him!
You were literally yelling at me this entire video to be negative!
Not true. I told you to be more like me.
You like this thing? How?
Because it's good?
No, genuinely, I want to know why you and every other FNAF fan out there seems to somehow put Springtrap in A tier and Golden Freddy in, like, D. I'm really curious.
Afton's cool?
Purple guy.
Okay, fine, I don't know! The colors, the eyes, I have no damn clue. But what I do know is that my brain is telling me that Springtrap Youtooz is one of the best they've ever made. And therefore, it's an absolute fact.
How is that fair? My brain can't stand this thing.
Well, then your brain is wrong. Fix it!
Cece, I tried with you. I did it my way, you hated it. I did it your way, you hated me. I can't be constantly just doing what you want me to do on my review show.
But you're my friend.
Yeah, and friends don't need to share the exact same opinions all the time.
Easy for you to say with your ass backwards nonsense.
Cece, you need to
You calm down. In fact, I'll calm you down myself. You'll see. You'll all see. All three of the other people I know will see. Happy season finale, folks.
That guy has serious problems. All he said was a figure made by a company he didn't like sucked. I would never do something like that.
Hey Weegee, I drew this picture of Lolbit. Do you think you'll like it?
You gave him eyebrows.
Yeah, so?
Youtooz fourth wave of vinyl figures feels rushed. It feels like they were worried about the backlash from Chrome Gold Freddy and wanted to get the next wave featuring the real Golden Freddy out as soon as possible. Now, I couldn't tell you if that's actually the case, but with the wave before it being the Fanverse figures and after being Security Breach Part 2, well, it's not hard to see where I'm coming from. I still enjoyed it. The Golden Freddys were a huge highlight, and the purple guys, although stupid, are fun pieces of merch on their own. Overall, I'm glad they were made, even if they aren't perfect. The Afton Youtooz wave will be getting a 5 out of 10. It could have been a lot better, but let's be honest, this is still more quality than most of the pop showings. Thank you all so much for watching Season 2 of Price Corner. The tier lists are on screen, and this is the final tier list for Season 2. Yeah, I know, it's a mess. Hopefully next year I'll cover a few more simple releases, but it's still really fun to see it all together. This was a tough year for me. Not only was I dealing with some hard tasks in my personal life, but these videos only got longer and more difficult to make. And I hate me every day for doing it to myself. But this nice and short season finale was exactly what I needed at the end of that gauntlet. Maybe not what I should have made for the finale, but hindsight is 2020. And as for the year in general, wow, I had so much fun. I got to get really creative with the videos, write a ton of original and fun characters, and I even wrapped up 2 massive plot lines while maybe teasing the next one. If I had to pick a favorite, well, for merch, that would easily be the Fanverse figures. It was only 3, but they were all amazing. But for the video, I'd have to say the pins. I'm a huge fan of how it wrapped up that story, even if the mini video was a bit grander. And as for my least favorite, Balloon Circus. This video was a huge mistake. Now that it's complete and actually out, I do appreciate it, and I'm proud of myself for getting through it, even if it was one of the most difficult videos I've ever had to make. But still, I am never doing a video like that again. Also, the plushies were obviously the worst merch wave of the year. Nothing else even competes. Like I've said over and over, some of these videos were rough, and if I had the chance to start over and not do them, Balloon Circus, I definitely would. But in the end, I'm really proud of what I've made here, and I'm really proud of myself for sticking with it the entire time, and I am really excited for the future of Prize Corner. But before I go, I want to thank Artlad, who became a pretty big part of the show this season. Not huge like Comic Consensus, but I believe his segment where I asked the iconic age-old question, but what does Artlad think, was a much needed middle ground between the very biased nature of Comic Consensus and I. And of course, he was there to test watch every single video and give me much needed motivation behind the scenes. So thank you so much, Artlad, for everything. And with that, I'll see you all in Season 3 of Price Corner. See you all on the flip side. Hey, Marionette, I also want to thank you. I know I haven't paid as much attention to you as you deserve, but I still need you to know that you're an important part of this show. And happy anniversary, buddy. Aw, thank you for the hug.
Can I get a hug too?
Wahoo!